inspired you to like make this film? What was the thing that drew you to it?
I think the thing I was really interested in was the idea of inspiration and where that comes from. So the story is about a novelist who can't finish his second novel, even though his first one was a success. And he thinks in his delirium that his muse comes to visit him, but in the form of a drunk psychotic decorator. And they go on various adventures which escalate and become more chaotic and murderous, but they might also lead to genius. So it's about him going through this kind of spiral where his creativity takes him to a dark place, but it's also about what the possibilities of that might be. So maybe like the overarching kind of like metaphor is about creativity and inspiration costs something. It has to cost you something. So if you're asking an audience to give them 90 minutes of their brain to you, then I think that your responsibility is to reach into your guts and pull out something that really means something. And so that's kind of your job, I think, as a storyteller and a filmmaker, is to hopefully find a way of doing that without going as far as the character in our story does and going to all kinds of murderous shenanigans.
And when you do have to do that and draw the audience in, do you find in a film you have so long, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get them hooked?
The way you get them hooked, I think, is by casting the right leading man who is over there. So Danny Horn is a fantastic actor, but he also has this huge expressive face and these great big eyes. And I think that without him, it would have been a very different film. And I think that what we are trying to do is find a way for him to be the way in for the audience. And so we try and show what he's going through and how hard it is and why it's not working. And so you ideally put him in that situation that the audience recognises. And I think the thing that we know about Fright Fest is that there's a lot of filmmakers here, there's a lot of storytellers. So I think that's also one of the reasons why people wanted to work on the film. People really gravitated towards the idea of portraying how a storyteller goes about their craft. And I've always been interested in that idea, the craft process.
Yeah. Was he the first person that you wanted to play that role? Was there anybody else who you considered, or was it like, this is his role?
We asked Brad Pitt, we asked George Clooney, they turned us down, but that's just what happens on lower budgets. But what we did have is we did have a really amazing casting director at ET Casting, Zita Konak, and she went through loads and loads of takes. But the person who came in first was our friend Joe over here. So Joe's quite a well-known guy in the UK. He was in Broadchurch, he was in Uncle, he was in Carnival. When Joe came on, that meant that Zita then felt that the casting notices would have more impact with the other actors, and we had some amazing actors here. We've got some of them here, Jake Mavis and Michelle Moran. So we were very lucky with the casting, but partly it was because Joe came on board early on and showed that vote of confidence in our project.